Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, the New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by
me, Rob. Let's get the show moving on.
Yeah, just a few minutes late here, that's all.
Yeah, I had to come in fashionably late.
Yeah, you're out of fashion. You're out of fashion. Past 10 minutes is out of fashion. It's not in vogue.
Oh, it's in vogue.
That's the second time I've used that phrase, by the way, today, in vogue.
Wow.
I don't know why. It's just weird. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to go over here with you guys there. It's off season. Let's be honest. It's not exactly the time of the year where news is usually pumping out left and right. But we actually have a lot of stories there to go over with you guys. I think some of them pretty good too. Some of them not so good though. But we're going to do anyway. What the hell? What the hell?
Yeah. Yo.
Some of these stories suck. Now, but we got some good stuff. We got some quotes from writers. We got quotes from an ex-Eagle talking trash about Giants fans. We got all kinds of fun stuff there. In fact, there's a Giant actually training right now with the Eagle. So all kinds of fun stuff there. So let's break right into it here. And guys, of course, as always, we'll read your comments there as they're going on as well, too. So feel free to pop in the comment section there as well. Let's get right into it, though, with the very first thing here. New York Giants fans called not very smart, and that's by Brandon Graham. Now, this was at the Fanatics Fest they had there this weekend over in New York. A little crazy, I thought, there, this whole entire thing, because he says, I'm thanking Giants fans right now. I'm thanking every Giants fan out there. Thank you for not being smart because your team left us Saquon Barkley. Thank you. Should I tell Brandon Graham or you want to tell him? That the fans aren't the GM?
Yeah. I don't know if you know how this works. I guess you're not very smart either.
I think he maybe for somebody who plays football, he maybe should learn a little bit about how the business operations go. This is why players have agents. Because clearly he does not understand. He'd go to the fan base, give me a new contract.
Sign here.
You played
where in Philadelphia
years
do I go for a signature?
Oh my gosh. He meant to disrespect Giants fans. I feel like he came off as the biggest idiot ever. Seriously, in that whole thing. Oh, thanks, Giants fans, for letting him go. I know they voted on the team fans, and you guys voted him off the island. What the, the hell do you think?
Survivor style here.
Yeah, seriously. If only he had used his, what's that, immunity thing that you have there. I just messed up my own joke there, so I don't watch Survivor. That it is much. I
was about to say, I don't know Survivor either. So
no. It's like a thing they give you, and if you get it, you can say, I'm using my immunity thingy, my get it a jail free card, whatever the hell they call that damn thing. I don't know. Either way.
No one else.
Listen, Brandon Graham, listen, I don't like to talk positively about Eagles very often. The guy had a really good career. Let's be honest here. Literally owns the record for most games played as an Eagle. Was a great player for a long time there. Never elite, but above average guy for 15 years. I mean, that's something there. But dude, what the hell? That's literally one of the worst comments I've ever seen from a player trying to trash talk a rival fan base. We don't make those decisions, you moron. My God. Now, if he said that to Joe Schoen, saying, thank you for not being smart because you left us Saquon Barkley, I would understand that. I still think it's the right move that they made. That just sucks you into the Eagles.
You can get the diss at that point.
I can guess it. Yeah, exactly. I can understand that at that point. Give a little ribbon there to Joe Schoen. But we don't do that. It's breaking news, I know, but the fans do not decide these things. If that was the case, the fans would have kept Saquon Barkley probably. They would have paid him ridiculous money, and we'd be in salary cap issues.
Yeah, if we would have paid him the $18 million, then what? They probably would have been out there offering him 22.
Yeah, because you know what? You may be saying thank you now because he had a great year. Listen, not taking anything away. Great year Saquon had.
Fantastic.
But every running back that's gone there has had a great year.
You look at the running backs that left last year.
Not necessarily 2,000 yards, but
yeah.
I just wait till he gets injured. Let's see what you think of him then. Because that's what we dealt with a lot. So, and I've been hoping that for him. I really haven't any ill will towards Saquon, though. I don't want him to play, great because he's an Eagle now. But, Just saying, it's just really, really dumb comment by him.
Just like, come on, Saquon, go to Tampa Bay or something.
I would have loved if he went to Tampa Bay. I would have rooted for that guy like you would not believe. We don't face them every year. We're not going after a championship in the division like that. Plus, living in Tampa Bay at that point, I could have gone to see him whenever the Giants were playing that same day. That'd been kind of cool. It is what it is. But Brandon Graham, you're a moron. Point blank.
You get the moron award today.
You are the weakest link.
Yeah, that's a different show.
Oh, okay. Listen, I'm just all the reality TV shows I possibly can. It is what it is. You're going to Hollywood.
I am Hollywood.
Oh no, Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah.
You got a brother.
You got that, brother. Drop the Mondo leg.
Oh man. All right, let's get in our next segment here. So, we've talked a lot about some of the great things the Giants have done this offseason. And they have. But I think there's one guy that's really being forgotten this whole thing. So we wanted to kind of do a little segment on that and kind of give a little kudos to a forgotten secret weapon here that really shouldn't be a secret at all, guys. And that's Chauncey Golston, who we signed, guys. Remember in the offseason, before all the Abdul Carter hype hit and everything, we signed Chauncey Golston. 3 years, $18 million. So it wasn't like we gave him a minimum deal. This is a guy with expectations. Look at what he did last year, guys. 7 sacks, 37 pressures, 36 tackles, and 30 defensive stops last year with Dallas. That's actually a really damn good year. I feel like on most years, you get a player like that, we'll be like, look at that. We get a chance to Chauncey Golston. Like, that's a big deal to get that kind of player. And it's funny because now that we got, now that we got the big time prospect in Abdul Carter, no one seems to, want to go ahead and talk about Chauncey Golston anymore. And I have to correct it too as well because it's actually not 7. I had it listed wrong, 5.5, but still. That's good. That's still a damn good season, guys. He's actually was second on the Cowboys in sacks. And that's part of what I love about the signing, too, as well, by the way. We weakened a divisional rival.
Hell yeah.
But you're telling me that we're going to get a guy who, point blank, was the second best pass rusher on one of our biggest rivals, if not our biggest rival. Depends on who you want to call it. Eagles probably, I think, a little bit bigger of a rival right now.
Yeah, this day and age, it's
because of all the player swaps and all, but our second biggest rival. It's a damn good move. And I again, he plays all over. He plays edge. He plays the line. He's got a lot of versatility to him. And we keep talking about, the trio of pass rushers at the edge position. But guys, this pass rush is just stacked now. It's stacked to the point that we're forgetting we signed a guy who was the second leading sack artist on our divisional rival. It's like an afterthought. We forgot about it.
Yeah.
Like, let's not forget.
A lot of people, listen, we got a lot of shiny new toys, and we're expecting a lot from, Abdul Carter. We're expecting a lot from Tips coming up. We're expecting a lot from everyone in that front line over there. And you kind of forget this is probably like more of a flex piece, like your backup role kind of piece, like. But who had 5.5 sacks, and like you said, like you just beat the drum on from the Cowboys, a divisional rival, a team that's had our number for a few years now.
Yep.
To say mildly, we weakened that defense. Granted, like the new defensive coordinator over there, so yeah.
Like I said, to me, it's like this is the guy that we're forgetting. If we hadn't gotten Carter, like, okay, we lost Ojulari, but we replaced him with Chauncey Golston. That's an improvement. But no, we got Abdul Carter and Chauncey Golston.
Yes.
It's like I said, it's being forgotten here. And being all these great rushers that are going to be around him, this kid has a legit chance here to have a great season for himself here because of what he has around him. He's not going to get double teamed. He's not going to be a focus. Last year with the Cowboys, obviously Micah Parsons is obviously going to be the main focus of the stopping the pass rush for the Cowboys there. But past that, he's probably the guy you're trying to stop.
Yeah.
And
it's a lot of attention it was paid to.
Now he's going to be what? 4th or 5th pass rusher you're trying to stop? It's a big damn difference.
Yeah.
Like, this could be that guy that people in the regular season are like, oh my God, I forgot we even signed this kid. Look, he's doing some stuff here.
Yeah, look at the pressure he's put on everyone.
Yeah.
Just because, like, the amount of pressure that's not going to be put on him.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to be worried about almost everyone else on that line.
And the flexibility is the big thing. Like I said, you're not having to worry about where do you put him on, because you're not going to put him on edge, obviously. You're going to let, probably about Burns and, Thibodeaux out on the edge, move Carter inside to the linebacker position. And now you put Golston on the outside with Dexter Lawrence and Darius Alexander on that defensive line. Like, that's insanity, guys. Like, this, I'm telling you, this is in my eyes is one of those moves that we were excited when it happened. Again, not overly. I'm not trying to make him seem like he's going to be all pro or anything crazy.
Yeah.
We're like, this is a really good move. Like, this is a solid pickup here. And again, from a division rival.
Yeah. Listen.
And now no one's talking about him.
Yeah. This is not your A+ player. Like,
no.
Let's not like
say B-.
Yeah. Exactly. I was going to say B.
Yeah. I'll give it a B-. I'm trying not to be overly optimistic this year.
Yeah. I mean, that's perfect, because you know what? He's going to be a B- player coming in here.
Yes.
And because of the ability to be a free player, because he's pretty much not going to have the pressure on like he had in Dallas.
Yep.
He could be a B+ player for us.
Yep. Because, like I said, that's a big one there. All right. Let's go over the pass rush, though, as a whole, guys, because this team finally has an identity. Like, this is something here Duggan of The Athletic pointed out. And this is the talking heads time of the year. A lot of BS comes around. A lot of people just filling random things into articles here, basically to get stuff out there. Dan Duggan brought up a very good point there.
Yes,
so did. Good a point that we lost Rob because he just couldn't show his face during it.
I just got so excited.
He said this pass rush could be a game changer. The Giants have lacked an identity during the first 3 years of Joe Schoen and the Brian Daboll era. There has been nothing the team could rely on to give it an advantage, and the result has been a combined 9 wins over the past 2 seasons. That may have changed this offseason. The defense was upgraded by the free agent signings of cornerback Paulson Adebo and safety Javon Holland. But the selection of outside linebacker Abdul Carter with the number 3 pick in the draft could be a game changer. Teaming Carter with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeaux should give the Giants a pass rush capable of dominating games. And you know what? He's bringing up a really good point. And this is the point I like there that he brought up. Think about what he said there. There has been nothing the team could rely on to give it an advantage. They're not wrong on that. Name me one thing in the last 3 seasons with the Daboll Joe Schoen era that you could say this team was like, okay, this team's really good at blank. That's sad when you think about it. Like, there's a pause there.
I guess the best you could play is making the best of a situation.
That was definitely 22. Like, we were good at winning close games, but you can't say that in 23 and 24.
No, it was the complete opposite. 23.
The best thing that you could say, that the thing that the Giants were best at was giving up sacks, and that's not something you want to be the best at.
Yeah,
like there was no identity of this team. And it's like I said, it's a really, really valid point. And it solidifies what Joe Schoen did this offseason. And again, I'll point out that Dan Duggan even did what we kind of said we were kind of guilty of ourselves at times, forgetting Chauncey Golston and that whole thing too as well. You get, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeaux, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, Darius Alexander, and Chauncey Golston. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be the identity. And whoever the corner number 2 is, because we'll still figure that there's still a battle kind of going on right now with Cordell Flott and Deontay Banks there. them and Paulson and Debo are going to have a really fun job to do, because when sacks start happening and quarterback pressure starts happening, you don't have to cover for as long. You also have quarterbacks making mistakes, which means we get to put the ball in the treasure chest at that point that they like having there on the sidelines right now, and we get to go get more interceptions, which is something this team was lacking so much last year. It's not even funny.
God.
I think it was
really good at knocking interceptions, even when they fall in their hands.
Yeah, it's absolutely insanity. It really is. I think that we got to look at this as, like I said, something that is something you can hang your hat on for the first time with this Giants team in a long time, and say, you know what, we're really great at getting to the passer, getting the pass rush going. And it's just nice to be able to say that for once, that we have something we're going to be good at. Now, keep in mind, we have to see how good we are, because it hasn't happened yet. We're counting a lot of eggs before they hatch. We don't want to be like the super team the Eagles had a few years ago. Remember when Vince Young called them the super team?
Yeah.
Like,
they're absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, like winning the off season doesn't mean you win a damn thing in the regular season. But like I said,
look at Webb for us. He was the goat at the preseason. Doesn't mean anything for a regular season.
Yeah, like I said, it's nice to see. It's really nice to see. So, now along with Dan Duggan talking so nice about our pass rush, the Giants finally rank well somewhere. Listen, we've been complaining left and right that the Giants have been getting the shaft here by writers, by people that are doing, lists of the greatest at blank and the best at this kind of thing. And as we said, the pass rush is probably the biggest strength now of this team. And PFF has continued doing their rankings there and ranked the Giants as the third best D-line in the NFL. So we finally get a medal. We get a bronze, at least. We get the bronze. Now, I will say this. I disagree with how they did this personally, because I don't look at it as edge rusher as part of the defensive line. I know I'm not in the majority on that. I like to look at, the defensive end, defensive tackles, the in the 3-4, obviously it's the 3 at that point. To me, edge rushers are still linebackers. They're just edge rushing from the linebacker position. You know what I mean? It's a different thing, but it's still a linebacker in my eyes. So I separate it, but apparently they don't. So we win because of that. We win like it's an asterisk.
Oh.
So they said, arguably no team has done more in the NFL to strengthen its defensive line and pass rush over the past couple of seasons than the Giants. They drafted Kayvon Thibodeaux and Abdul Carter with top 5 picks in 2022 and 2025, respectively, and also traded for former first-rounder Brian Burns. The team's edge defender trio is complemented by perhaps the best nose tackle in the league, Dexter Lawrence. Pause that. Not arguably, he is the goddamn best defensive tackle, not even nose tackle, defensive tackle in the NFL. Saying it point blank, flat out, You
heard it here first, folks.
Because again, he's not been surrounded by talent, like other people have.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No, he's literally that dung beetle coming out of the poop.
Exactly. So anyway, he said, where'd it go? Lost my space now. Complaining that they put perhaps, not perhaps. Take the damn perhaps out. Anyway, they said, although Lawrence's 2024 season was cut short to an injury, his 89.9 PFF overall grade still ranked 3rd amongst interior defenders. Like I said, it's nice to get kudos for once. It's nice. Like 3rd best in the league would be amazing. Like if it actually is.
We found our identity.
We finally, someone loves us.
Thank you, PDF.
All righty, guys. We're going to go ahead and pay the bills real quick, and then we'll be right back here with some more news to go over with you guys there.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the Goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
All right, we got a couple questions here. Deb says, do you like bringing Manhurts back? Yes, I do.
Yep.
I wonder what kind of role he's going to have this year, but I like him. Maybe a veteran guy, solid guy. You never heard an issue with him in the locker room. You got the and let's be honest, again, the offensive line has been an issue forever. So having a solid blocking tight end is nice to have. The question comes into B is, will he make the team? Because I don't think that's necessarily a dead set going to happen kind of situation. I mean, Theo Johnson's going to make the team.
100%.
You'd like to think that Daniel Bellinger would make the team, and he's had a very good spring practices kind of thing. I mean, I don't want to overblow that. If they haven't done anything crazy yet, it's not been practice. It's like underwear practice, basically. But you have Fedone as well, the 7th round pick that some people are high on. But again, we've said forever we are kind of scared of his knee issues and all. But how many tight ends going to carry? That's the thing. You just don't know.
Giggity.
Yeah, you just don't know. Deb says, besides really good at losing, talk about our identity. That's probably been the best thing we've been good at. We've been really good at losing. Very sad. Real Cold G says that commercial is hilarious. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
He says, what do you see Kayvon's role being with the addition of Carter? I just think he's going to get rotated out more. Honestly, I don't think you're going to see him coming out in like third downs or something like that too. I think Abdul Carter will move into linebacker. Micah McFadden will go to the bench, and you'll have all three of those guys out there with Carter in the inside linebacker position there. We'll see. Time will tell. I mean, it's not like I have any inside knowledge of their plans. They're going to tell anybody what their plans are right now. They want a surprise. But that's what I think they're going to do. That being said, it's a great problem to have. But first and second down, they're probably going to be sitting Kayvon, sitting Burns, sitting Carter, keeping them well rested, fresh. And then all of a sudden, that third down, all three of those guys, along with Lawrence, along with Golston, along with Alexander, all going full steam ahead, right at the quarterback.
Drop the hammer.
Exactly. Pin those ears back and go. Everybody else take care of the coverage.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Be pretty nice. Deb says Manhurst's contract does have some guaranteed money, but they cut him anyway. Let me take a look at what his contract is, because I don't think it's a very high guarantee. I know there's some, but I don't want to sit there and say that I know Chris Manhurst's contract off the top of my head.
It's 900,000 with 200,000 guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's not in dark.
Let's see. I'm trying to pull up over the cap right now. We lose $500,000 and save 600,000. So like only half his money is guaranteed, basically. So, yeah. I mean, I don't think you're cutting him for salary cap reasons. You're just cutting him because you just going to keep so many tight ends if you do. And if $500,000 makes you keep a player, then you made some mistakes in that salary cap, my friend.
Yeah.
That's an issue. That should not be nearly enough money to go ahead and change your decision making on that. Like, that's no.
It's weird to say that too, because $500,000.
It's a lot of money. I'll gladly take $500,000, but it's $567,500 to be exact. That's what we have in dead cap hit. That's nothing in the grand scheme of things. So, but he's also $1.2 million basically cap hit if we keep him all year, which is also nothing for a football player. especially for a guy who's been a veteran for almost a decade now. I think he's 9 years in the league or something like that. Crazy.
Oh,
he's been around for a while. Long? He's 33 years old. I mean,
oh yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look it up here. Let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 seasons now. Yeah, that's pretty crazy there. So he's been playing since 2015. So this is his 11th season. That's an accomplishment. Kudos to him. Most people don't make it more than 3. That's the average.
Yeah. Listen, especially if you think about it too, like some guys coming to flashy and make it, multi-million-dollar a year. I mean, his thing, like he probably made like 10.
Especially for a specialist that does one thing well.
Yeah.
But those are the guys that make it. Like, I'm not going to get paid a lot. I'm going to get paid minimum, but I'm going to stick around for a while because people like what I do.
We'd all take the opportunity to make $10 million.
Damn straight. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up. And he's probably made more than that in his career. Let's see. He's made $11 million, actually.
Not far
off. Hold on. That's his base salary. I'm trying to see his whole number. $16 million. Almost 17. Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
All right. Not being jealous of Chris Manhurst's $17 million.
My man Hurst thinking about that.
Let's talk about Russell Wilson, the wuss.
Dun dun dun.
Oh yeah, we went there because that's what got said here. Now
let's ride.
You did the quote. We didn't say it for the record. We're not calling that. But yeah, this came out because a veteran NFL insider Pablo S. Torre reported that ex-NFLPA, that's the NFL Players Association president, J.C. Tretter, had some strong criticism apparently of Russell Wilson because he felt like that Russell Wilson's actions when he signed on with Denver weakened a collusion lawsuit against all the owners, and that lawsuit eventually got dropped. So they're basically blaming him now. This is what Pablo Torre said. He said, "Oh, listen, how did I know? The second we started talking about Russell Wilson, Jay Woodberg saying cut Russell Wilson." Here's the exact quote that Pablo Torre had. So he said, "What I can now report is that J.C. Tretter, in a series of text messages that he sent to then executive director of the union, DeMaurice Smith, repeatedly insulted Russell Wilson. At one point, he used an expletive that I will not say here. J.C. Tretter also called Russell Wilson a quote-unquote wuss. Then he said of Wilson, quote, instead of being the guy that made guaranteed contracts the norm, he's now the guy that ruined it for everyone," end quote. Now, he then said, to be clear about this, the reason Russell Wilson didn't get a fully guaranteed contract is because he's not smart enough, not strategic enough to push hard enough for it, and not because the owners were colluding against Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray or the players. J.C. Tretter was blaming the player instead of the owners, and the owners were like, this is like a very helpful bit of evidence for what we're trying to prove, which is that this case should be dismissed. And by the way, not unrelated, the case ultimately was. So basically, the gist of it, there was a big lawsuit. I remember this a couple of years ago. A lot of it was based on Lamar Jackson because nobody was signing him, and they thought there was collusion to get him to go back to Baltimore without getting a fully guaranteed deal. He wanted a fully guaranteed deal. Keep in mind, Deshaun Watson had just signed a fully guaranteed deal. So, that's something that they were looking to make more the norm. And to be very frank, and I know some people may hate me saying this because I know some people go, "Oh, athletes make enough." Football players in general do not get paid enough for what they do. I know we just spent a minute about Chris Manhurst made $17 million almost in his career so far. Football players do not make enough money. You have like backups in baseball making like that much in a season. You have guys in the NBA making like $50-60 million a year, and probably even more. I don't follow the NBA as closely, so let's see. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Highest paid NBA players. So highest paid this last season was Stephen Curry with $55.76 million. So that's kind of in line with a lot of the top end quarterbacks in the NFL. But the difference is these guys don't get hurt and put their bodies on the line nearly to the same degree that football players do.
it's also different too because like you have longer seasons with basketball.
You do, but
different sports. So
you
like
do and you don't at the same point though.
Yeah,
I mean the season is just as long. They play more often.
Then you talk about baseball, more time for injury. Look at that basketball player that just happened less than a week ago. It tore his Achilles heel.
Yeah. And then, they kept him pay the Pacers.
And then you talk about basketball. I mean, listen, we did put it out there.
Basketball. I love that movie.
But no,
I haven't seen the movie. By the way, watch that movie.
Yeah, fantastic. But when you talk about baseball, the 162 games a year, plus spring training and playoffs, you're away from your family way longer than any other sport. That's why you get paid like that.
Well, look at like Ohtani in baseball making $70 million a year. I mean, granted, he plays two positions. That helps. 35 per position, basically. But I'm just saying, like, these guys in football really do put everything on the line. But anyway, we kind of sidetracked here. So the whole issue was there was a case saying that basically the Player Association was suing all the owners, saying they were holding back from doing fully guaranteed deals as a regular thing for top, people to sign. And they were saying it was collusion against the owners. They were suing the owners. And then Russell Wilson now signs this deal with Denver around that time. Now, this contract he signed was an extension, I should say, as well. He was still under contract technically with the Seahawks and, before that trade happened. So the contract he signed was an extension of 5 years, $245 million, with $124 million fully guaranteed at signing. Obviously, Russell Wilson only lasted 2 seasons there over in Denver. So it's not like he got a bad deal, guys. Here's the other thing people aren't even thinking about probably in this. Let's say hypothetically Russell Wilson took a fully guaranteed deal. Let's just say that for a second. Do you think Russell Wilson wanted to stay in Denver?
Yeah.
That was a mutual parting ways. Let's be very frank on that. That was a mutual parting of ways. And if that was a fully guaranteed deal, they weren't going to let him go.
No, not at all.
He'd have been stuck there for 3 more years, at least. Because again, it was an extension. I don't know what he had left on the Seahawks contract. They tore it up. I don't pretend to be a Russell Wilson Denver Bronco contract aficionado.
Yeah, that's I think all that's a bunch of BS. I think that's I think it's a whole bunch of team management, team ownership, trying to blast the players for asking for too much money. And like you said, these guys get paid a lot of money to come out and play.
Yep.
Play a sport, play a game, but you're expected to play the game. It's not long, and you should put your bodyhood and like your longevity of life in the rest of this game. Like, look at what the guys 20 years ago are coming out now. They're finding out they have CTE. They're coming out, finding out they have different type of like brain injuries that are affecting the way they live later in life.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
So, pay these guys. And I get the thing is like where you have a salary cap. So you have to figure out and manage within the salary cap. The NFL makes so much goddamn money. You need to increase that salary cap and pay these guys more.
I'm going to throw a weird scenario at you, okay?
Inflation.
First off, I got to say, I love the salary cap because it creates parity that you don't have in a lot of other sports because it's a hard cap. You can't get around it. You can't figure out a way around it. That being said, I'm about to contradict myself to a certain degree.
Luxury tax?
No. Well, no, because if you want to talk about the inefficiencies really is based on the tax codes because they should change the salary cap to match based on the tax codes that a player would have to, pay that year. Like, you shouldn't get an advantage by having a team in Florida or Texas compared to having a team in, New Jersey, for example.
Touche.
It's a big difference in the taxes you pay as a Giant or a Jet compared to what you pay as a Cowboy or a Dolphin. So, but I think what they should do, because I really think, again, the players I don't think are taken care of enough. And let's be honest, the NFL try to hide things in general. I think what they should just do is they should just go ahead and pay the players. You have the option of cutting them, but you still have to pay them out. And that would change free agency to a certain degree, because you'd have to look at like, okay, well, yeah, I can cut this guy, but if I cut this guy, I still got to pay him $80 million to go away. Yeah.
The hardest thing is the cat's out of the bag of different teams have kicked the can down the road. Like, you've paid players at a quarterback position before it was even heard of 60. Dak. What do you get that before he got extended last? Was it like 60 million?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Something stupid. Then you kick the can down the road, and like it's just a game that plays
60 million per playoff win.
Yeah.
Now,
so like
also
you could alter that, which I'm all about incentives. Like, listen, you want a player to play better, like you give them incentives. So like I'm okay with that. Like that's how you figure out your salary.
Yep.
Like,
now, Jay, you put the comment up, those taxes are on road games. On road games are the city you play in, not all in one city. Correct. But if you're a team based in New Jersey or New York, because I don't know what the taxes, because they play in Jersey. I think they pay Jersey taxes technically.
I would assume so.
I would assume so. Exactly. I don't pretend to be an accountant. I have to ask my local H&R Block. But the taxes you're going to pay, half of your games are going to be taxed like Jersey. Now, keep in mind, you also pay taxes in the city you live in, or the state you actually live in, I should say, because it's not city. It's the state. So if let's say you live in New Jersey and you play over in, I'm just going to randomly say like the Detroit Lions, you're paying Michigan tax along with New Jersey tax on all your home games in that scenario. And whatever team you go play on away games, you're paying the Jersey tax and the state of wherever you're playing. Like I said, it's an advantage. There's no doubt about that. I've always said they should change that. But again, there's a lot of things you could change. The world's never going to be perfect, and just do what you can do. And like I said, honestly, all the systems, I think the players get screwed the most with the NFL system. So I get why they are upset at Russell Wilson to a certain degree, because there's supposed to be this mantra of you're supposed to help take care of not just yourself, but the future generation of football players. And let's be very frank, Russell Wilson, before that deal, was already taken care of. Russell Wilson's taken care of just by his wife's money alone, without him even making a dime. Like he may not be, Giselle money like Tom Brady had, but Sierra's not hurting.
I was going to say, I mean, that Giselle money is not helping Tom Brady anymore.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Like I said, well, she's helping her judo instructor, whatever he is. But I'm just saying, he could have done probably more for the players, the next generation, that kind of thing there. But I wouldn't go as far as saying that you want to like bash him like that. That's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
As Jay says, Sierra worth $20 million. Exactly. She's fine. $20 million. You're fine. I know Russell Wilson makes, has made that more than that a year with the Seahawks and all. But I'm just saying, neither one of them are hurting. They're fine money-wise. Anyway, let's get off the topic of money. And let's go into the topic of pure insanity. Purely insanity. Should the Giants cut Russell Wilson? And I think Jay's probably the only one in the chat who will say yes, because I know Jay already said so. He already said it. Now, this is all coming out because of Mark Schlereth, who I usually like a lot of what he says and does, because he's an entertaining guy. He's a fun guy. He's very much down to earth. Former guard, obviously, with the Washington, whatever the hell you want to call him at that time, and the Denver Broncos. Now he's a analyst for Fox Sports. He's worked a few places there, been doing that for quite a while now. He said the Giants should cut Russell Wilson and start Jaxson Dart. I'll take this from the perspective of what went down in Denver just a year ago. In Denver, they had Russell Wilson. They moved on from Russell Wilson. Russell, he has a propensity to take too many sacks, not throw the ball in the middle of the field, all these different things. They draft a rookie quarterback, and everybody said, oh, the roster is not very good. The roster is the 31st ranked roster in all of football. Oh, it's a quarterback who, he may be smart, but he lacks a big arm talent and lacks the athleticism, or can't feel all these different things. And the bottom line was there was a struggle for 3 or 4 games. He wasn't great right out the gate. And then he became the second highest touchdown quarterback as a rookie next to Justin Herbert. He threw 29 touchdowns last year, almost threw for 4,000 yards last year. You start your rookie and you will go with the growing pains, and you understand that you're not going to the playoffs right now. You do have a great defense, which is one of the best things you can give a young quarterback is a great defense. I just think it's time to rip off the Band-Aid and say, Jaxson Dart, you're our guy. Like I said, I like him. I like a lot of what he says on a lot of things. He's a fun, entertaining guy. He knows football, obviously. He's been around forever. Was a damn good player. I'm sorry, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Here's the difference of what you had there. Bo Nix was around playing college football for many, many years. Was as NFL ready as he was going to be. There's the difference. Jaxson Dart is a project. Like, point blank, he's a project. And if you don't have the patience, we talked about this in the last episode, you don't have the patience, you're going to ruin him. Because you're going to kill any possible semblance of, confidence that he has. And right now, he's a very confident guy. Don't rush him out there. Now, I love the fact that he thinks Jaxson Dart is the guy and should be out there. That's part of what I do like about the whole scenario. But I hear rumors. I know Pat Traina was just talking about in her show the day about how he still has trouble sometimes taking too many sacks based on what they saw in spring practice. A lot of things that would have been sacks that he just held onto the ball too long, didn't make the throw at the right time, that kind of stuff. Like, that's nuances that you learn as you go. And if you want to stick a rookie quarterback in with that offensive line that's had issues, again, I think they're probably better than people give them credit for, but still, they're not stellar. This is not the Eagles' offensive line. It's not the Cowboys' offensive line to pass. And it hurts Giants fans to maybe make those references, but it's the truth. If you want to put a guy who has trouble dealing with pass rush, week 1, in front of that offensive line, when you're still trying to figure out and gel this team, you're asking for trouble. Point blank. You are asking for trouble. And it's going to find you. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And there's one thing about taking the lumps, like Bo Nix taking the lumps for a little bit there. But Bo Nix, maybe he has a different mental makeup even. I don't know him personally. I'm not going to play that kind of game at that point there like that. Different players can deal with different things. I mean, Eli got thrown to the wolves his first year. We talked about that today too. And he excelled, at small parts of time. Like, you saw glimpses of it. But for the most part, he looked pretty bad, guys.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning led the league in interceptions his rookie year.
Yeah, I mean, I get the idea, like, you have to throw him to the wolves. Like, and the one advantage I would say, like, if we throw a dart to the wolves is, like, knocking on wood, the defense has done. We made a lot of improvements on the defense, and, like, we may not be getting the interceptions out there, but there's a lot of pressure to the quarterback. Hopefully, more turnovers, quick 3 and outs, not letting up a lot of points at the end of the day. Like, if our defense could do something like that, it really helps out a rookie quarterback go through growing pains.
Yeah.
Because if you make a turnover, you make a mistake, and your defense can stop the ball before a score, get you the ball back, it allows you to develop a little bit more. Which is exactly what happened with Russell. That was a Legion of Boom error.
Now, part of what you got to keep in mind as well is how the season went for Jaxson Dart. So, like, not only did he get thrown, not Jaxson, I'm sorry, Bo Nix, not only did he get thrown to the wolves, but in the beginning when he looked rough like that, they were throwing the ball way too often, which is an issue with the rookie quarterback. Let him not be the star. I know it's kind of hard to say because you're the quarterback and be the star no matter what, but let the run game be the star. Figure out things around him at that point. Figure out ways to work, different trick plays and make his job a little easier. Instead, his first 3 games, he had over 35 attempts in each game.
Yeah,
each game. And didn't look good, as you said, did not look good. After that, he didn't have 35 attempts until week 8. Then he didn't do it again until week 12.
Yeah, I think after the 4th week, 5th week, it was like 20.
So 18. You're talking like 2 of 8 games, he had 35 attempts or more. That's it. Because they realized they were throwing him to the wolves too much, and they kind of pulled back. But the difference with them is they didn't have a backup plan either.
Yeah.
And that's part of it too. We got to keep in mind, guys. Because again, I'm focusing on Bo Nix here specifically because that's what that's what he was talking about specifically. That's what Stink was talking about it as Mark Schlereth. No, in case people aren't aware of that, that's what he was talking about. Now you look at the depth charts. Who are we going to start at quarterback? Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson. Would Denver have done the same thing if they had quarterbacks like Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston?
Probably not.
Probably not. And you know what? They would have started him. It would have been like a temporary thing, probably. And I think, again, I get the sentiment he's having here of hey, this is your future. The future is now. Let's get it rolling. Why keep waiting?
And the Broncos defense last year was pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
It was top 5 defense last year, right?
Yeah. And I think that's the thing he's forgetting is that team may not have been as bad as people thought it was.
They were sneaky good with a development quarterback.
Yeah. And they had on there, Cortland Sutton obviously is a decent wide receiver. He's not great, but he's decent. They had some weapons around him at that point there. They had good defense. Like I said, I don't see. I just don't see it here. Now I do see Jay saying things in the comments. As he said, you only not start a first round QB if he's physically undeveloped or your line sucks super bad. Well, guess what? I don't want to say mentally underdeveloped because that sounds like he's special, but I mean he's not mentally there reading things yet, and that's the thing, and that's part of what we said, the pass rush, things of that nature. But yeah, the line sucks super bad potentially. Let's see here. He says growing pains, it happens at one time or another. Why wait? This season is about figuring out who he is. 100%. We said that today as well, but you're not going to find out who he is if you throw him too fast. You're going to find out what he is now, not what he could have been.
Listen, the majority of we said the Monday. The majority of the quarterbacks that said again, throw it to the wolves, they've had a higher success rate. Granted, you have your Mahomes, you have your Herberts, you have your Bo Nix out there. They go out there and have a good year the first year. Yeah, they look good, but you also have your Jamarcus Russells. You have your James Winston's. You have these guys who go out. You have way more first-round picks in the quarterback position that didn't succeed because they threw them right there into the wolves. Yep.
And it's funny because you can play either side of that coin. You know what I mean? You can sit there and say, "Oh, look at the guys who waited and look how great they are." But you can also list the guys who were great right off the bat.
You can.
But I do think history shows that the better percentage is letting him sit for a while.
I mean, the biggest thing too is if you have a quarterback in play and you have your backup to initially take over, kind of let's be real. Look at Green Bay, right? That's the best example. Brett Favre for over a decade. Aaron Rodgers sits behind him, right? Fantastic, and now. Look at Love play.
Yeah.
Not saying anything about those characters in play.
Yeah, but we're not talking about their personalities.
But the talent-wise, they've had 3 quarterbacks really be the starters. There's some injuries here and there and whatnot, but 3 decades of quarterback play.
Yep. And they sit him. And they sit him and they wait a while. They get him ready to go. Deb says Dart was a very high first-round pick. They traded down to get him. But he was a pick 25.
Yeah, I want to say
there's a handful of picks before that was a second-round pick. I'm not saying you don't put him in. I'm not saying you don't put him at all this year, no matter what. You have to kind of play the season by year and see how things go. But it's also how ready he is. If they don't think he's ready and they want to put him out there because they don't think he's ready, then don't rush him. Get him going. Jay says, I'll take Schlereth's NFL advice over the vacuum guy. Your opinions are like the vacuums you sell. They suck. Wow.
So,
you know, the funny thing is, people are going to watch this thing, Rob, and think you actually sell vacuums for
I know,
them,
it's funny.
probably.
I actually have a few of my customers that actually watch the show. So,
yeah.
they're probably laughing like, what?
That was my point. He's 25th pick, not 25. Yeah, exactly. And that's a good valid point, Deb, as well, because Bo Nix was a top 10 pick. Was he pick 8 or something like
that?
I want to say.
Yeah, right around there.
Like, there's a little bit more need to throw them out there, even though, you know, I to me, you put people out there when they're ready, regardless of when you pick them, you know?
Yeah, but
let's see. He was pick 12. Okay, he's pick 12.
Yeah.
So still top half of the first round.
But listen, at the end of the day,
He says he's joking, Rob. He give you a heart.
My heart.
Weakest character from Captain Planet.
Heart.
I always felt bad for that kid. Like, everybody else had cool powers, like water, whoosh, tidal wave, earth, like rocks come out of the ground,
fire,
heart. Like, poor kid. Let's see. Real Cool G says the Giants are going to proceed with caution, Jay. They have their guy. They aren't going to send him to the Wolves. Damn straight. You shouldn't.
100%. Listen,
damn straight.
I've said it before on the show. I'll say it again. You go get Russell Wilson. Well, first you get James Winston, right? Which Drew and I have been calling for that action quite a bit. Bring him into play. Like, listen, best backup that could start for you. Warren Bears team. Throw you, like, last year, what happened? We didn't throw the ball deep. James Winston would have thrown the ball deep. Granted, he would have thrown for 7 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns. Not sure to what team, but he would have done. He would have done so.
Yep.
First overall pick. You get Dart, draft that pick 25. So you're like sitting there. Hey, this is what the first overall did. Like, maybe I shouldn't get too zealous. Like, maybe this humbles you a little bit. Like, what you should be doing. Then you go ahead and you get Wilson, who was taken later in the draft, been to the Super Bowl a few times, been in some high caliber teams. Maybe you could pick his brain what he did as well. Like, he's got this very psychological dynamics where he can learn from these two guys and how they played in the NFL and how they made such a long career, because both of them. At the end of the day, like, they weren't 3 years and out. Like, they've had a long, successful career.
Yep.
You probably wanted to let him to learn as much as he can for himself in the field.
Probably
the smart thing.
Now, I have a side note in this conversation.
It's like saying your doctor, like, he was really good coming out of his bachelor degree.
Yeah.
Let him do your surgery. Yeah.
Would you let the top of the class doctor student just go walk the hospital floor with nobody watching him?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I have a little side note that I probably knew this and didn't know it, but I saw this here just now looking up Bo Nix stuff. Do you know what city he's from?
What city?
It's in Kansas, aka Arkansas. Arkadelphia.
Wait.
Arkadelphia, Arkansas. That's where he's from.
He looks like he's from Arkadelphia.
Arkadelphia, really? What the Okay. Anyway.
I could guarantee you, as a person that drove through Arkansas, there's probably a lot of churches and a lot of trees and a lot of lights as you drive through that town.
Yes. A lot of people at one
not a lot of people. No, not a lot of people.
A lot of people at one family reunion.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a relative.
The graduating high school was like 7.
Oh God. Jay says you guys act like he's a porcelain doll. No, we just understand that you can kill confidence. And this is not just quarterbacks. There's a lot of things, guys. Like, in my own profession, I've had to train plenty of people. And I don't cut people loose to do a job unless I know they're ready. And I'm confident they're ready. Because it makes me look bad as somebody who trains people. It's the same with this. Like, Daboll is the trainer, basically. You know, like, he's got to make sure this guy's ready for the job. And if he falls flat in his face, it's going to make Daboll look bad.
Yep.
And guys, again, he's not a first overall pick. Like, I get it why Cam Ward and those kind of people start right off the bat. There's so much pressure you kind of have to do to a certain degree, even though, again, I don't think it's right. But this is a 25th overall pick. You'll be fine. You can let him sit for a little while. So, then he says Dart will probably be giving out some treasure chests at first. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's all rookie quarterbacks. Like I said, Peyton Manning led the league in interceptions. I said before, his rookie year, he did. I remember that he did not look good at all. Real Cold G says, so you want another Jones scenario? Make sense. He says, Jay says, I'm not saying that not all quarterbacks are the same person. Some start 1, some start 3 years later. Yeah, we're not waiting 3 years, that's for sure.
Yeah,
D's Nuts says, I waited a long time for a good QB. Let's try with Wilson till it starts time, whenever that is. And
I see what you did. Let's ride.
Yeah. Oh, he did. He did.
He did.
Very witty. D's Nuts.
Yeah.
Jay says Rob has a doctor. Never could imagine he cares about his health at all.
Oh,
whoa! I'll have you know he spends most of his time at the Golden Corral at the salad bar, specifically the salad bar. He may load his salad up with tons of bacon, but it's still a salad
and dressing.
Oh, so much dressing and croutons.
Zesty ranch.
Croutons.
Yeah. All the croutons.
Croutons up the wazoo.
And steak and shrimp with fried chicken. But whatever.
Wait, steak and shrimp and fried chicken is not part of a salad.
Yeah. Never had
what kind of salad are you having?
Never had a steak salad. Never had a chicken salad. Never had a shrimp salad. God.
Chicken and shrimp on one salad.
Well, you have to go a few times to get all that.
The meat medley salad.
Yeah.
Sounds like a weird pizza salad hybrid here. The meat lovers salad. Jay says the comic store is a high pressure environment. Drew needs to have you benched for a year. Listen, sometimes I wish I worked at a comic store. It'd be a lot less stress probably.
Yeah.
But I don't know enough of comics to do it. Let's see. Oops. I'm skipping people. He says, Real Cold G says Daboll is trying to keep his job. He isn't throwing him out there until he's ready. Yep. 100%. And Jay says salad bar. He's doubting your salad barness. So I gotta say, I was on board with the salad bar until you said the meat medley on the salad bar. Because you're not.
There's no Golden Corrals in New Jersey. Jesus.
There's no Golden Corrals anywhere. I don't know why we're still talking about Golden Corrals. I think it's just the most famous one. Like, we can't do Shoney's. Like, Jersey never even had Shoney's to begin with, but like Shoney's were popular down south. Now they're gone as well. Like, what is the new Inn buffet?
I don't know if there is.
We had Sweet Tomatoes down here in Florida for a while until they closed down. They were pretty good. Let's see. We're gonna look it up. We have to update ourselves. We're aging ourselves.
The China buffet.
Oh, the China buffet is pretty good.
Oh, the Korean hot pots.
I love hot pots. Oh my gosh. Most popular buffet chain. Let's see.
Sushi all you can eat.
Here we go. The first that pops up, Golden Corral. Oh my gosh. There's
well, listen, that's where the Golden
See, Real Cold G says we still have Golden Corral in Arizona. There you go. See,
let's go to Prescott Valley.
See, next time you go visit your family, you can go to the Golden Corral in Arizona.
I mean, Wyatt Earp, Golden Corral.
Yes. There's a rumor that the Golden Corral is actually what gave Doc Holliday tuberculosis.
I'll be your huckleberry and diabetes.
They call that after you're done eating this, they call it the "Are you okay, Corral?" Oh my gosh!
I may be not all that sick as I made out to be.
Oh my god! Be throwing up some huckleberries afterwards.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, let's get back to actual news. We can't just keep talking Golden Corral. As entertaining as the Golden Corral is, and Eddie Lacy's exploits there. Let's talk about Tyrone Tracy, because Tyrone Tracy is apparently working out with Saquon Barkley. And listen, anytime Saquon Barkley is involved with Giants news, it's always people that are pro, con, whatever. Listen, I got to say this. Keep in mind, Tyrone Tracy went there last year. So Barkley and him did not play together in any way, shape, or form. That's a classy move by Barkley, I got to say.
100%.
Yeah, because I really think that the idea that, you can go ahead and take someone under your wing who is like the young guy in the role you used to have. That's a classy move. When you're talking about a division rival, let's say, and listen, I'm go into extremes. I'm going to tell you that point blank before I even say this. Let's say Saquon gives him amazing advice, great advice. He takes his advice, becomes a 1,500-yard rusher. Then that hurts the Eagles, let's be honest.
Yep, but it also boosts Barkley's legacy.
Yeah, well, listen, he's going to have a legacy no matter what because, he got a Super Bowl with 2,000-yard rusher. He was really good with the Giants, obviously, too. He's going to have a legacy no matter what. He's also going to have a little bit of a Snakewan legacy as well with Giants fans because Giants fans, well, some of them will always hate him. But like I said, I just got to say it's classy. And I give credit to Tyrone Tracy as well of putting in that kind of work and reaching out to, somebody like Saquon, finding out what he does in the offseason that makes him so good. I really think that's a big thing. It tells me that he wants to improve. He's willing to put the work and he's willing to go above and beyond. Because let's be honest, guys, he could be getting drunk in Cabo right now.
He could be.
I would be if I was him. This is why I'm not an NFL player. I don't have the mindset to keep working at it. Like I'd be at the Golden Corral probably having mimosas. But
open bar, baby. Let's go.
Open bar, yeah. Open bar. Golden Corral.
You're like Vince Vaughn and Wedding Crashers.
But I'm just saying, I honestly, I think both people in this situation deserve credit. Saquon for bringing a guy under his wing that he didn't have to, that isn't playing on his team, and in fact plays on one of his biggest rivals. I don't know if he can. It's funny because I go like, Giants are rivals for the Eagles, but are the Eagles really looking at the Giants as rivals considering how much they've been whooped their butt the last? I'm just saying, not trying to be cruel about it, just being honest. But like I said, kudos to both those guys. That's for sure. Yeah. And it's right at the same time they're doing tight end university, by the way, which, we've mentioned tight end university. And of course, Rob has to leave because he's scared of tight ends. But, where they've been doing that for a few years now with Kelsey and Kittle. And I want to say Greg Olsen was involved in the beginning. I'm not sure if he still is. Obviously, he's been retired for a few years now. But, I like seeing when some of the more veteran players take young players under the wing. So, again, I give credit to both guys in this scenario. Classy move on both of them at that point there to put in the work together at that point and make each other better. All right. One last thing, guys. Got to talk about the new Madden. And listen, I don't want to talk too much on Madden on this show because I always say we're a real sports team, podcast. We're not a video game podcast. That we've all played Madden. I'm not going to say I'm exactly an aficionado and buy every single one. I haven't bought it in a couple of years, actually. I might buy it this year, though, ironically enough. But the Giants are literally ranked as the worst team in the goddamn NFL. And I got to say the goddamn NFL. That's ridiculous. They are ranked at 75, 1 point lower than the Arizona Cardinals. Look at the Cardinals roster. Look at the Giants roster. And try to tell me that the Cardinals are a better team. We can go to other teams that aren't a better team as well, too. There'll be plenty that we can go over. But I'm going to use those right now. You tell me how. And Jay brought up the teams that was already thinking in my head. He said, how are we worse than the Browns or the Saints? Yeah. How? It's absolutely impossible that we'd be considered worse than some of these teams. And listen, again, we're not top 5, top 10, or crazy like that. I'm not trying to throw things out there like that. But the worst? That's absolutely
a lot of disrespect.
Insanity. Now, here's how crazy it gets, guys. The Chiefs and the 49ers hold the top spot. They're tied. I get the Chiefs, obviously. Listen, they've been to Super Bowl, the last 30 years, I feels like.
Well, they're the new dynasty. They're the modern-day Patriots of, us growing up watching.
I won't say Patriots because they lose a lot of Super Bowls, too. It's kind of like they're a Patriots-Bills hybrid.
There you go. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
They keep getting to the Super Bowl, and they win half of them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
But
like I said,
I get the Niners because, listen,
I don't.
I got the Niners, if it would have been that last year. This year, they've made a lot of changes. I wouldn't get so much. But let's be real, like the Niners pooped the bed. The Super Bowl 2 years ago. So, like, there's a lot of talent there. So, all right. Have the Giants sat lowly rated? Like where was Cleveland? Like, where was the Raiders? Where,
But look at the list of players, though, that the 49ers lost. And tell me they're as good as the Chiefs, though. You could have made that argument a year or two ago. Deebo Samuel, Javon Holland, Malik Collins, Leonard Floyd, and let's see, Javarius Ward, Dre Greenlaw, Aaron Banks, Hufanga, the young safety, gone. All these guys gone. They lost 17 players.
They lost a lot of players. They also picked up a lot of players we haven't seen yet that's supposed to be, pretty darn good. Just saying.
Like, how many Pro Bowls did they lose out of those 17 players, guys?
Oh, man.
That's insanity. Like, to sit them and think they're still just as good. Now, here's the real kicker. You would think top two teams, Eagles and Chiefs, they were in the Super Bowl, it would make sense. There's a logical decision there in this whole thing. No. The Eagles are at 86, not the 92. That's a big difference. Not to mention the fact that they had the same exact rating as the New York Jets. How are the New York Jets at 82 overall?
Listen, the New York Jets. The biggest problem with the New York Jets is they're the New York Jetsing in their own way.
But apparently they're just as good as the Eagles who just won the Super Bowl.
That's just crazy to me.
Absolutely insanity. Like, are you freaking kidding me? And I'm really hoping this is obviously the beta version. The actual version comes out there in a little bit there. Like, there's things do change. I think I read somewhere that Malik Neighbors though ended up because we keep in mind they change the ratings as the season progresses. I think he ended the season as an 83 or something like that. Someone said. Again, I don't have the game. Someone feel free to pop in the comments if you know differently. Like I said, I'll probably get it this year because the Giants actually might be good, but apparently they're not. But I think some of those ratings might change as the season progresses. But that's just insane, guys. Another team, another place that's just pooping on our team, to put it nicely here. Like, I don't get it. Like, what did the Giants have to do to get it? And again, it's not even respect to where we're like considered an average team, but at least don't make us the worst.
Yeah, I mean, Jaguars will probably place like 5.
The problem with the Jaguars is they play in a weak division, so because of that, people think they're better than they are.
Yeah,
when you play, against the Titans and even for a while the Texans and the Colts. I mean, there's no great team in there.
Yeah, I mean, a couple years ago that was an exciting division to watch.
Yeah,
but I mean, they kind of fell off their southern.
Yeah. And the Texans already fallen because they had a good quarterback, and now they went ahead and basically lost all the offensive line they had around. They even traded Tunsil away.
Yeah,
so it's all crazy. I see the question there, Colton, where the Titans were. I didn't see that. Let me see if I can find that for you guys real quick here.
Find the list because, like, how are the Raiders, man? It's like the Patriots, like, it's god awful.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna look it up real quick, and while we're doing that, if you want, real quick, Rob, you can do a soft shoe tap dance number.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a chart for you guys real quick, but no one seems to have the full list at that point.
Yeah.
So, here we go.
Let's go.
I got it here.
How bad is that division?
Okay, here we go. Let's see. What was the question? It was the Saints, 83.
Titans. No, Titans.
83.
Titans is 83.
That's right. Titans. We said.
Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Oh man.
80.
Wow. All right. What about the Panthers?
By the way, the Titans are at 80. The Commanders are at 78.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Panthers.
Let's see. They are 79.
Raiders.
The Raiders 81. By the way, the Raiders are 1 point away from the Chargers, and they're 2 points higher than the Broncos. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
That's absolute insanity in this whole thing. And even the Bears are 81.
Bears.
I don't get it.
It's because they played in a tough division. Did you get the news?
Craziness. Like I said, this is why you can't take it serious. This is, by the way, the same game. And listen, guys, I love this game. I've spent so many hours playing this game. It's not even funny. This is the same game that every single year can't figure out that a long snapper is not a tight end that ranks 33 overall. I don't know why they do that every single year. Just make it a long snapper position. It's not difficult, guys. It's not difficult. So, all righty, guys. Well, that's going to call it a night for us here. We'll be back again, though, just tomorrow, so you won't miss us. Not too much. Not that everybody ever misses us anyway. No one loves us. But we'll be back again, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always. We are live on YouTube, which is, of course, the preferred platform. We're live also on Facebook, Twitter/X, whatever the hell you want to call it, Twitch, and, of course, Rob's
Don't forget about
favorite.
Kick.
No, remember we kicked the kick bucket. We kicked the bucket there.
Drew's LinkedIn page.
Yeah, Drew's LinkedIn page, of course. Now you got me speaking in third person. And of course, as always, we're available the next day at all the audio podcast platforms as well. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon, all the big ones there. So again, if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit the thumbs up if you're on YouTube there. Ring that bell, exactly. And of course, tell a friend, because again, guys, we suck at marketing. Point blank, without y'all sharing the show, nobody would know who the hell we are. And people still don't even know who we are. So it is what it is. So appreciate you guys watching, listening as always. Appreciate everybody's support on the show here. And of course, as always, Giant fans, as Deb's already started in the comment section. Go G-Man! Go G-Man! G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.